Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jack Hudson YouTube channel. This is my brand new channel. Some of you might know me as Sinister Chief, which is my other channel. Make sure to check that out and subscribe to it. And then you might also know me from the Black Hudson channel. That's me and Markeithus Black's channel, where we do sketches, podcasts, and stuff like that. So if you're into anime, if you're into just random bullshit podcasts, or if you're into skits, make sure to visit that one. And then the Sinister Sheep YouTube channel is just it's a whole lot of things, but the one thing it isn't is about books and manga, which this channel is specifically about. Originally, this was called Jack Reads Books, but there was another YouTube channel by that, so I decided to just go by my name, Jack Hudson. Simple, clean, and yeah, what better way to start off than to before you watch this, make sure to watch my half of the year book tier list, where I went through all the books that I read in 2022 so far. I'm only counting up to June. July is officially the halfway point, so at the end of the year I will post the rest of my tier list, but for these guys. But without further ado, let's get into comic books and manga. So first up, we have One of the Deceased. I believe this one's Unkillables. This one was good. I would say B tier. All the deceased DC comic books were pretty good. They're just a really fun time. What I love about them is that they're not in continuity, which means you could do anything with the characters and have no ramifications to the in continuity universe of DC. So you get to see fun character moments and stuff like that. This one, they're like Red Hood and a group of people are trapped in like a school, and they're fighting off zombies and stuff with a couple kids that are from the school, and they train them to be like mercenaries and stuff to like kill the zombies and stuff like that. And it has like my favorite DC zombie, which I never thought would be my favorite, which is Mirror Master. Because if you don't know Mirror Master's powers, he can travel through any mirror. And imagine that during the zombie apocalypse. Like, that's just, it's so OP. It's not even a joke. But yeah. And then I believe this one's called, I forgot what this one was called. No More Humanity. I don't remember. It cuts it off. But yeah, this one's about to say. This one is more hopeful. It's like in between the first Deceased comic book and Dead Planet, like what happened in between those two. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say Dead Planet's probably in the middle. It's the conclusion to everything. Now they're doing. DC has seen the success of Deceased, which was about zombies. Now they're doing DC versus vampires. I haven't read any of that, but from what I've heard, it's pretty much just the same spiel, but different cover, different paint, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you know what? Let's knock all the comic books out of the way. I'm kind of going out of order here, but I don't think you guys mind. So let me just get all the comic book stuff over here. That way. Yeah. Okay. I think that's... Nope. One more. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Alright. And then the first Deceased is very good. I would say it's the best. All these are top B tier because, there's nothing really deep about them. They're just a fun comic book series. And, for people who maybe want to get to know the characters more, but not have to be like so heavy with continuity. Just want a general characterization of some lesser known DC characters. I think this is a good place. So then we have the 2021 Suicide Squad run. This one's really fun. The main person is Peacemaker. Like, that's the most popular character before like Superboy shows up. It's pretty fun, honestly. I haven't read anything past like 7 issues, but I remember enjoying it quite a bit. So I'll put that like C tier, I guess. Then we have Robins, which is the first comic book. I don't know why it took DC so long. There's been so many Robins to just put them all together in one story. And this one was fun. It wasn't anything special or anything from what I remember. It didn't really leave an impression, honestly. But it was a good read when I was reading it. Then we have Robin, the new solo series by Joshua Williams, I believe. This one's pretty good. I only read like 5 issues. C. Yeah. No, it was a little above it. Then we have Nightwing, the Rebirth Nightwing, which I read up to the book 3 of the deluxe editions, whatever, how many issues that was. I think that's about like 30, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, very, very good. I liked it quite a bit. I'm kind of speeding through the comic books because I read them earlier in the year, and I don't really remember a whole ton. I just remember what I found, what I really liked, and what I didn't really like. But yeah, Nightwing's very good. If you want to know anything about Nightwing and stuff like that, Nightwing Rebirth is a really good place. It's just a couple of issues address like what happened in previous continuity to Nightwing, so you might be confused there. You might have to do a little research here and there, but like besides that, it's pretty good for newcomers. Then we have New 52 Aquaman, which is a lot of fun, written by Jeff Johns. It was during the New 52 era, is a little hit or miss, but with Aquaman they did a good job, at least until they got into like the Aquaman and the other series. Then it turned into something odd, let's just say. But just trying to make Aquaman more of a badass, which he's always been a badass. But New 52 meant to draw in new readers and like why you should care about Aquaman, basically. And it does a good job about that. Yeah, so I really liked Aquaman. Frank Miller's Batman Year One I reread in preparation for the Batman, which on my Sinister Sheep channel you can check out that tier list where I ranked that in my half-year tier list. So check that video out. But yeah, overall classic. Anyone who wants to do early Batman stuff, whether it's a TV show, movie, this is your Bible. This is your go-to. A lot of the Batman borrows some aspects of Year One Batman, even though in the movie it's like Year Two-ish Batman. But yeah, no, it's what if not the greatest. Then we have Zack Snyder, or sorry, not Zack Snyder, Scott Snyder's and Greg Capullo's run of the Batman. Again, this is another New 52. This is probably, besides Green Lantern, one of the best New 52 runs. They did about, I think it was 70 issues together, and I read their whole entire run. Such a great team, such a great talent. Toward the end, however, it gets a little not so good. I mean, there's some fun concepts like Jim Gordon being Batman in like a Batman mech suit. Like that's a fun out there idea, which a lot of people shat on at the time, but looking back on it, it was pretty good. I don't know. I just don't like Bloom as a character. To me, the last best kind of arc in that Greg Capullo thing was Endgame, with where the Joker returns from the previous arc. The best one is Death of the Family. No, actually, nah. I mean, pretty much Court of Owls is the best, but it's still a fun run to read through, so I highly recommend it. Scott Snyder's Batman is very well done. However, you are going to be reading a lot because Scott Snyder likes to fill up those pages. He likes to fill up those dialogue balloons, but who can fault him for that? It's not perfect, so I have to put it in, like, I would say top of A, obviously, for comic book standard wise. But, like, S tier, I'm saving for the best of the best of the best. So, there we go. Then we have Pluto. This is automatically going up here. We're finally getting into the manga. Pluto is my first... his name escapes me. but he does 21st Century Boys and he does Monster, those mangas. This is like incredible. This is my probably like it's in my top 3 favorite manga as of right now. Basically, it was a he tells it from a it was an Astro Boy storyline, I believe, that got canceled or like or it's based off a storyline of Astro Boy, but obviously it's not Astro Boy, but it's very sim. It has very similar characters. It's like a copyright way of being like this totally is an Astro Boy, but it totally kind of is. And it's like this detective noir story, and it takes twists and turns, and it's only about like 65 chapters long. I binge read this in one day. Like I had COVID, and I just ate through it. Where now I'm finally buying the physical versions. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I love it to death. It's if you're not into Astro Boy and stuff, I would still give this a read because it's just it's it's a great detective story. It's a great mystery story, and it'll keep you on your toes. There have been like rummaging around that like this might be adapted into an anime, but even if it's not, like the manga is still golden standard. It's fantastic. Then we have One Peak, or One Piece as the kids call it. I like how I said like I'm reserving S tiers and stuff, and like I already have 2 things up in S tier, but they're just that good. And One Piece is definitely just as good. One Piece is one of the greatest shonen mangas of all time. We're finally getting into the final arc. I'm very excited to see what happens next. Now that especially Wano is over. I had recently I caught up to the series this year. The previous year, this has been like a year and a half in the making of me trying to catch up to One Piece from the very start. I started from the beginning. Even though when I previously read it, I got up to New World, but instead of being smart and just being like, oh, let me start off where I left off, I'm like, fuck it, let's just start the adventure all over again. And the second reread is so good. All the character arcs are great. The world is just fantastic. Oda really knows how to create a captivating world, and like, you know, having the Straw Hats come in and totally change that world around for the better. Yeah, it's so good. And don't be afraid to start One Piece, especially reading it like it flies by. Because it's just the early parts are a little, rough, but once you get to Arlon Park after that, if you're not sold, then I don't know what to tell you. But yes, it is long, but it's worth it. And if you want to see my One Piece tier list video, that's over at the Sinister Sheep channel, so check that out. Me and my friend Leon rank all of the One Piece arcs in a tier list. It's a very good video. Then we have a Blade of the Immortal. I'm about, I think, 9 volumes in. It is very, very good. Come on. Come on. It's kind of like it's pretty different art from your regular manga. Like it follows the same kind of structure, but it's more like you look like you're looking through a sketch notebook. That kind of art style. Very, very good. Very violent. It's basically about this girl who her whole family used to own a dojo, and this other competing dojo like kills off her father, her mother, and everything like that. And so she seeks revenge, but she's not as skilled, so she seeks this mercenary guy who is immortal. He's kind of like got a Wolverine healing factor, but like it's severely handicapped. Like he could still die if you like cut off his head and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very, very, very good. Very well written. The art is spectacular. It's amazing. I'm not putting in S tier yet. Because I still got ways to go. But, yeah. And then we have Vagabond. Vagabond, I am going to put below because I've only read 3 volumes. Okay, but I can recognize great art and great writing right off the bat, especially because I'm familiar with the story. Because there were 3 films based on it back in, I think it was the 80s or something that I watched, and they were very good. The name's escaping me, but they were very good, and it's actually based on a novel as well. But yeah, this is great. I just can't get my hands on the second Visbig volume. Like it's always out of stock. Like Vagabond is always out of stock for like physical, and I don't want to just read it all online. Like I want it in hand. It's like the Berserk effect, which we'll get into later. Like I feel like I need to read it with hand. Like digital doesn't work for me. For like this beautiful artwork and stuff like that. Maybe I'll cave in eventually, but like honestly, like I just want to get my hands on those fucking Visbigs, and I only have the one. But yeah, the art is beautiful. Definitely check it out. Yeah. Now we have One Punch Man. One Punch Man, as of right now, where we're at, which is chapter 165, 66, I believe, of the manga. We're finally kind of wrapping things up, but the fights are great. But I started from square one, so I'm going to just go through what I thought of the whole thing so far. I really like this. This is like feels like a subversion of the superhero trope. And I even like all the side characters stuff. A lot of people's criticisms are that like the side characters kind of take the show, but when you have a dude who could destroy people in one punch, you know, you should have some side characters to go along with that as well. But yeah, so One Punch Man, it's great. I like it a lot. The only problem I have is like the arcs, especially this current arc, is going on forever. The art is incredible and everything, but it is, yeah, it's dragging a bit. So I would put this probably like right. Come on, stop right here. Then we have Lone Wolf and Cub. This is a classic samurai manga. If you know Frank Miller's art, he's heavily inspired by this manga. In fact, a lot of the cover art for the omnibus collections of this is Frank Miller doing different interpretations of scenes and stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic. My issue with it is repetitive. Like it's pretty much just a lot of the story beats repeat. Like, oh, there's a woman in danger, and she's like, oh, help someone kill my husband. Oh, wait, she was the one who killed her husband all along because the husband was a piece of shit. But Lone Wolf and Cub have to kill her because they need the money, and da, 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 da. Like it's just that over and over and over again. But it's still a very good read. Historically accurate as all hell. Like it's certain panels it's just describing like what's exactly happening in the era, the weapons that someone is using and stuff like that. So, and I think the person who created this like really wanted to show that. I'm very bad with like names and stuff, especially Japanese names. So, look these up for yourselves. But yeah, he is awesome. So I would put this like on top of B tier. It's a trendsetter, and it's great, but I believe like Blade of the Immortal, which I have up in A tier, kind of goes off that and does something more with it. Then we have Vinland Saga, and maybe this is S tier. Where do I want to put it? I'm gonna put it above Vagabond because again I've only read 3 volumes. Okay, don't kill me. I'm all caught up with Vinland Saga. Okay, I guess I think it's better than One Piece personally. One Piece is really good for shonen manga and it's great, but like with like seinen manga, obviously it's got the upper hand a little bit. But yeah, Vinland Saga, Thorfinn's journey, where he is right now, it's been nothing but great. The art has been nothing but consistent. Again, the historical time period, the author completely nails It's one of the greatest Viking movies. Or sorry, the greatest Viking movie is The Northman, but one of the greatest Viking manga is this. There's not a ton, but any Viking media, basically, if you're a fan of Vikings, read Finland Saga. You will definitely be a fan of it. It takes kind of like the mystical tale of Thorfinn and makes it more realistic. And all the side characters are great. I am curious how people are going to receive season two because it's not at all like season one. Like season one is the prologue, and after season two, that's pretty much the tone of Finland Saga. But it's still great. There's just not a ton of action, and I don't know how people are going to feel about that. But yeah, so Finland Saga. Then we have Old Boy. Yes, this is the Korean movie is based off of this manga, and I gotta tell you, I was not a fan, especially that ending, man. That kind of sucked. I like the art, but again, it suffers from repetition. A lot of the same shit happens over and over again. It's still quite good, and I like it, but it's that ending just sucks ass. It's just bad. Well, okay, it's fine, I guess. Like D tier for me, like there's no real F tier here because there wasn't anything. Well, there's one, but like that was like god awful or whatever. This one was just kind of like it was underwhelming basically. Um, and yeah, watch the movie. Don't read the manga. Watch the movie. Don't waste your time with it. Then we have Getarobo Go, which is the second part. I gotta tell you, I love me some mechs, but man, is it just kind of it's a trendsetter yet again, like for the for manga in general and art in general. But yeah, it definitely shows its age quite a bit. Maybe the next Get a Robo series I will be a fan of. I believe that one's called Shin or something like that. But yeah, I was not a fan of the second arc or whatever you want to call it. There's actually a YouTube video that's really good. It's like 2 hours long, but it goes through like the whole Get a Robo history and stuff like that. Definitely check that out. That guy's awesome. But yeah. Then we have the original Dragon Ball, which I think is where are you? Oh, I think is like A tier. Total trendsetter for what we think of as shonen. Oda is heavily inspired by Dragon Ball. This is the original Dragon Ball. Japan, they all just call it Dragon Ball. We just differentiate it here as Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but it's all Dragon Ball in Japan. But I'm just counting Dragon Ball as in the American version. I'm sorry if I confused you right there, but everything before Z basically is what I've read. It's great, man. It's more of a comedy adventure, but it's just great to like reread these every single year. They just have such a good feeling. And to see like when, you know, Goku wasn't just completely overpowered, you know, he had to actually train and he struggled and stuff like that. Whereas where Dragon Ball is right now, it's not great. But you know, yeah, the if you haven't read it or watched it and you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, I would highly recommend it. It's a different kind of tone, but it's still very, very good. Then we have this is another comic one, but I Hate Fairyland. This one is quite fun. It's by Scotty Young, which traditionally he does more like variant covers and stuff, or like more kid friendly stuff because his art style is very cartoony. Well, this one he takes the cartoony style and just makes it blood and guts. So the basic premise of this is it's a little girl. She wishes to go to Fairyland. She ends up in Fairyland, and she has to find a key to unlock a door or something like that. And she's like, okay, great. This goes on for like 40 years. She got there when she was like 10. It goes on for 40 years. So she's like a like mature woman, but she's trapped in this little girl's body. And like she's like, I just want to get out of this hellhole. And she can't curse, so every time she tries to curse, it's like, "Oh, fluff you," or something like that. And she just keeps making mistakes, and everyone in Fairyland, because of her presence, is just more miserable. It's like the exact opposite of One Piece. Like One Piece, like totally fixed that world, and like everything's hunky dory. Well, this one, like every single land that she goes in Fairyland, like she completely like devastates and destroys, and then just moves on to the next thing because all she wants to do is go home. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. It's just surface level stuff, kind of thing, but the art's great. I'm there for the art. Like I've known this dude to do like very cute variant covers, and it's just fun to see like him draw a little girl like split like someone's head open or something. Like it's enjoyable. Makes me sound like a psychopath. And Yasha, I gotta be honest. I don't think I'm gonna continue with this. I only did up to 3 volumes. I could see why people like it. I could see like the romantic chemistry and everything. Already looking at the chapter list is too long for me to continue, because first impressions wise, it's not all there for me. Maybe it gets better later on. I might pick it up again, but it's nothing negative. It's just not my cup of tea. Um, Maybe I'll watch. Maybe if the anime's better, I don't know. Let me guys know in the comments below, if it's better just to watch the anime rather than read the manga. But yeah, I just wasn't impressed by it, honestly. But yeah, maybe I think that might be a hot take because a lot of people love Inuyasha, but who knows? Then we got the best boy, Berserk. I am not done yet. I'm just is it the Lost Children arc? I'm just past that. But goddamn, is this becoming one of my favorite mangas of all time? My favorite piece of fiction. Definitely top tier on that front. It's unfortunate with the passing of the mangaka, but his legacy still lives on, and his assistants are continuing the Berserk story. And I haven't gauged in that conversation because I don't want to know what happens. I went into Berserk blind. I want to keep it that way. But where I am right now, like, you could see the care and love that this guy put into this one piece of work, and he was like a complete perfectionist. And I have the oversized editions, and that's the only way I can read Berserk. This is what I wanted to go back to when I was talking about Vagabond, like reading those oversized 3-in-1s, the hardbacks. Even though they're expensive, they're totally worth it because, one, I tried the internet rips. The translation sucks on them. They're so goddamn bad. Don't even try. Okay, so I would say buy this digitally if you really want to, and I highly, highly recommend it, get the physical copies that Dark Horse is producing, the hardbacks. They are absolutely fantastic. They're oversized, so the art really pops out. And I feel like I'm reading it the way the mangaka intended me to read it. It's a masterpiece, and you should go in completely blind. The first arc is a little edgy, a little try hard, but once you get into the Golden Age arc, if you're not hooked, what's wrong with you? I kind of take breaks in between a Berserk every now and again because it gets to be a misery fest, and I just need something else. But yeah, no, Berserk is fantastic. Then we have Black Clover, which I'm all the way caught up on, and Hogali, this is freaking great. Okay, you know what? Yes, no, yes. Like even that, like rough beginnings. The first like 20 to 30 chapters, rough. It's basically Naruto but wizards, right? And like you keep going, and each and every arc gets better and better. And right now it's on hiatus because the author is preparing for the final arc, and like where the story is left off from now, it's nothing but hype, and it's fan fucking tastic. I don't want to spoil it too much, but like, okay, I understand, right? Like it comes off very generic at first, but I promise you, just stick with it, and it's great. Especially if you're like if you are brand spanking new to anime, you only maybe have like one or two under your belt. Fucking go for Black Clover. The only reason why I say it's generic at first is because I've been watching anime and reading manga for a long time. That like when I see certain tropes, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to continue this. Like, are they just gonna be trapped in these tropes? Are they ever gonna progress past them? Black Clover absolutely does that. All right, I need a truly break. Ooh, that came. I picked up pretty nice. Ooh, that's good. All right, then we have Undead Unluck. It's okay. It's like sure, it's fine. I'm caught up with it, reluctantly following it. It started so high. It started with such a unique premise and stuff, and then it kind of lost its way, honestly. So I guess if you have nothing else to read, like read it. The art's good, everything like that. It's definitely a unique art style. I liked it when it was more of a romantic thing, which it slowly kind of lost its momentum, and it's doing some weird thing now with this new arc. Like I'm personally not a fan of it at all, but I'm recurrently going through it. But I feel like it might be ending pretty soon. I don't know that for sure, but where the story's going, I feel like he's just got to end it soon. But yeah, Undead Unluck. I'll give you the basic premise, and if this sounds interesting to you, then definitely pick it up. So it's about this guy who can't die. He's completely immortal. And this girl who has the supernatural power of anything she touches, something unlucky happens to that person. So that's why when she dresses up, she's like covering her entire skin because she doesn't want anyone to be affected by that. But with the immortal guy, excuse me, if he gets struck by like a meteor or something like that, like he still won't die. He'll figure out a way to reach it. And right, so like, they have this little love thing going on, and they meet other characters and stuff. And so if that concept sounds cool to you, then definitely check it out. But if it doesn't, no harm, no foul. You're not really missing out on much. Record of Ragnarok is really friggin' good. It's basically just a battle manga, honestly. I'll just describe the concept and leave it there. It's fucking awesome, but just know there's nothing deeper. So, like, all the gods, all your mythical gods, including Jesus, and God or Buddha, your Greek gods like Zeus, your Norse gods like Thor, all are like, you know what, humanity's gone on long enough. Let's just wipe the floor with them. And then one of the Valkyrie, which are like warrior Norse women, are like, let's actually do like a tournament, humans against gods. And gods are like, oh, well, we're gonna win because we're gods. They're just humans. But the Valkyrie personify themselves kind of like in a Soul Eater way, like turn themselves into weapons for human users to use. And they have to clash against each other for humans to continue their existence. If they lose, then humans will cease to exist. And these battles are fucking awesome. My favorite highlight is Hercules versus Jack the Ripper. It's so fucking entertaining. It's so good. And you go through the author's interpretation of like Jack the Ripper and Hercules and their upbringing and stuff like that and their flashbacks. It's so good. It's such a fun battle manga. I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Don't watch the fucking Netflix thing because that animation is shit. But like, definitely read the manga. Then we have Zom 100. Zom 100 is basically this dude has been leaving this Japanese work day life where his boss just completely abuses his hours and stuff like that, and he just lives the average life until the zombie apocalypse happens. And this is the best thing that could happen to this main character because he's like, oh my god, now I could do whatever I want. I don't have to do the 9 to 5. Like I'm basically free. So he comes up with this list, like a bucket list of 100 things he wants to do before he dies. And then he goes off. It's like a cool slice of life, like, but set in like a zombie Apocalypse. Yeah, it's fun. I've been keeping up with it, and it's very. Whoops. Where am I? Yeah, it's. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Yeah, super, super, super entertaining. Then we have Seven Deadly Sins. I'm gonna put this on top of. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on top of C tier. It's not doing anything too unique. I like the art style. It's very nice. The concepts are very good. Um, like the whole story and everything is the the concept is good, but the execution lacks, and it's very tropey. Especially with the outdated tropes with like ooh boobs and fan service and stuff like that. Um, there are definitely bad ass moments and really cool fights in it. It's just not doing anything different for me, so that's why it's so low for me. But yeah, I mean, check out the Netflix series, and like after season one, if you're still interested, I would say pick up the manga. But if season one is enough for you, no harm in just leaving it. Then we have Goodnight Poopoon, aka Gave Me Depression. Only finished volume one of that. I need to be at a certain point in my life to finish Poopoon because after that first volume, I'm like, okay, yeah. Like you don't want to read this when you're already kind of down on your luck. Like, not that it's just like when you have a lot of complicated stuff going on in your life, Poon Poon, is just gonna amplify your depression, but in a good way, in a reflective way. But yeah, I just got to be ready to like try through that whole thing, and I will probably do a review on it once I'm done with it um, on this channel. Then we have My Hero Academia, and I'm counting like where I'm at right now, and holy fucking shit, like this shit is going down. This last arc, especially, like after season 5, you guys are in for a fucking treat. If you're just an anime watcher, um, really fun. How My Hero as a whole has just kind of um, did stuff with the superhero genre. It's not like a satirization like One Punch Man very much is. It's much more than that with great characters and stuff like that. Um, Consistently good art. Um, just some arcs kind of lack in between, especially in the middle part. The middle part, like, excuse me, not a big fan of. But then it picks right back after the My Villain Academia arc. After that, it's like fucking gold. Um, but yeah, My Hero is good. However, I think I'm gonna put it under Black Clover. I just feel like where Black Clover's going, and like how after the hiccup that is the beginning, which is definitely a hurdle, but after that, it's soaring through the fucking sky, man. Like My Hero has had its like bumps up and down and stuff. It's still a great manga. I just think that Black Clover is just a little bit better, like by a hair. Like these two are practically tied, but like trajectory wise, like Black Clover has just been, pretty consistent. Besides those first couple arcs, whereas My Hero, um, was good during the first couple arcs. Then at the middle point, kind of suffered a bit, and then after that, you know, is approaching its final arc. We'll see how it ends. But yeah, My Hero Academia. I'm not even that like huge of a fan of My Hero, but I still recognize the cultural impact of it and how it brought anime back, baby. Like what it reminds me of what like Attack on Titan did back in 2014, getting people more into anime. My Hero is doing the exact same thing, and people seem to really, really love it. So that's an A tier for me. Then we got Jujutsu Kaisen. Uh, yeah, this might be controversial, but you know what? No, it's definitely ahead. It's definitely ahead. I just have major gripes about where it is right now. Like this current arc is way too fucking long, but before that, like it was great. Like this new arc you guys are going into for season 2. Oh boy, you have no idea what the fuck is about to happen to you. Um, but I mean, just these three being up here should just show you like the current state of Shonen Jump is just great content after great content. Um, And with Chainsaw Man, that's now coming out and stuff like Shonen Jump's taking nothing but W's, and like a lot of these series aren't afraid to end. Like Black Clover's gonna end around chapter 400 probably. Same with My Hero Academia. Like it doesn't feel like it needs to go longer. That actually needs to. Bleach and Naruto. Um, Whereas One Piece, I hope it never ends, but it's going to. But I hope it never does. And like these series are just great, and Jujutsu is like really really good, especially the art. Yeah, it's just this latest arc is I'm not a huge fan of it. It's really kind of dragging. But we'll see. I mean, Black Clover and My Hero are closer to being done, so they might bump Jujutsu off depending. But yeah, no, Jujutsu's still really really good. 20th Century Boys. No. Yes. I still like Pluto more. 20th Century Boys is one of the greatest mangas. It's just, I don't even want to explain the plot. Going completely blind, I promise you won't regret it. The first volume, at least in the perfect editions, it's like the first two volumes combined into one volume physically. It's a little slow, but then once you get to that second volume, it's like, bam! It catches you and you never want to stop reading it. I've read the entire thing. I'm just collecting the physical versions now, but this is one of the greatest manga of all time. It's by the same creator as Pluto. It's fantastic. I'm going to be getting into Monster hopefully sometime this year. I have a lot of reading to do, but yeah, no, 20th Century Boys is awesome. Then we got Cho X. I can't pronounce the fucking name. It's from the same dude who made Tokyo Ghoul. This is really good. This has a lot of promise. It's only 24 chapters as of right now. The chapters are pretty long, so it's early days. But I like the world is setting up. It's kind of like My Hero meets Jujutsu Kaisen in an odd way, if I had to describe it. The art is fantastic. It's very good. It's just the story and the characters, they still feel like they're in their early kind of like I don't have a sense of their characters, especially the main character. Like I don't feel like I really know him, or anything like that. But the battles and the fights and stuff like that are really good, and like there's still enough to like keep you intrigued with like how the magic system works, or rather like how the creatures work and how they're created and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. Then we have Spy X Family, which I will put like right around. Yeah, I'll put it right around here. I can't wait till they get back to the slice of life stuff because right now it's been pretty serious. Well, that boat arc is really long, but you know what? I think I got to put it in B tier. It's good, but I feel like you know it's it's got to get its mojo back. Like that boat arc. There's an arc where they're like trapped on a boat for like a good like 20 to 30 chapters. Like it's pretty fucking long. And the chapters are like coming out like bi-weekly, so they're not very consistent. So now they're trying to get back into like the main plot with Anya going to school and stuff like that, and doing the slice of life kind of thing. But yeah, it like it's still good, and you should pick it up if you're new to manga and new to anime and stuff. Yeah, definitely check out the Spikes Family anime. But yeah, right now it's in a weird spot. So, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, later on in the future, it'll kind of get its mojo back. But as of right now, yeah, it's kind of weird. I liked the backstory. Before all of you get on me, I just felt like it was a little serious. And I like feeling when I could balance the serious moments with like lighthearted moments, and I felt like it didn't really nail it for me. But yeah, that would Dorhan Doran, I think it's called, which is a new Shonen Jump title. Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's trying to do it's like a knockoff Demon Slayer, basically. Don't even waste your time with it. It's nothing. Uh, oh, this dude, he wrote Hell Paradise, I think it's called. Um, which I haven't read, but I heard people sing its praise for. It ended so soon. It ended after like 25 chapters because it just wasn't tracking well. And I really liked it. It's basically like Yakuza meets um, like spirits. Like such a cool idea, but like no one else was reading it. And like the people who were reading it, like myself and that fandom, were like really, really big into it. And the ending was just super, super fucking rushed and like open ended, and it just it broke my fucking heart. Um, it just stabbed me. It's just uh, but yeah, I mean, I would say worth the read, but honestly, it's not because that ending is just it like pops out of nowhere, basically. Um, I mean, if you're curious, go ahead, but from what I heard, there's not going to be a continuation at all. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate. Like there was so much potential, but it just didn't get the readership, unfortunately. Then we have Kaiju number 8, which is great. It's so fucking good. Yeah, I don't know why I'm whispering. Um, it's about this dude who basically like all he wants to be is like I forget what they're called, but they're like soldiers who like kill off kaiju because his childhood friend uh, also was doing that. And he's like, I want to be just like you when I grow up, basically. But you know, he ends up being like a maintenance or janitor for like after the kaiju's are dead and like the guts are everywhere. He basically has to do cleanup when like all of a sudden he gets his power to transform himself into a kaiju, and he's still fully like conscious and stuff like that. So he's helping the humans, but the humans also see him as a threat. So it's that kind of dichotomy, at least in the beginning. It's really, really good. You should definitely get into it. It's one of the best newer shonen manga. Um, yeah. My fucking throat, man. Ugh. All right, we're almost there. Sakamoto Days is awesome. It's so good. It's basically this assassin. He's this legendary assassin, and then he finds the woman of his life, gets married, has a kid, and completely settles down. Instead of this super buff dude, he turns into this super fat dude, but he still has like those awesome assassin skills. He's like the number one assassin. And then another assassin comes in, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this man because he's got like this huge bounty on his head," and ends up joining him. And the assassin is actually owns like a grocery store or a little like Kmart store, and then the dude who was trying to assassinate him just joins him, and then you know, other assassins try to assassinate him, and he claps back at them. It's really good, especially the art is so fucking good. You know, the author isn't afraid to go from cartoony to like realistic sketch. Like it's so much fun. It's such a good time. Um, I would put it like on top of A tier. A tier's getting heavy. Do we move up stuff? I think we move up stuff. No, because this is S tier. No. Yeah, I did a reread of Soul Eater again. Soul Eater's awesome. Um, it's just that anime fucking. It's so good up until like it does its own anime shit, and it's just because during that time period, that's what anime did. They were like, oh fuck, we're not caught up. Fuck it, just end the show. I was like, fuck, because everything after the show ended just gets better and better and better. Um, you know, it's just for me, it's just a step below of One Piece. It's definitely up there. A little heavy with the fan servicey stuff. That's just how the mangaka is. He just does that stuff, but the story, the philosophy behind it, and stuff like that, and just the unique art style, and the unique like world. It's like it's like Shonen Jump, but in like a Tim Burton world. It's just awesome. And the fights, oh boy, the fights. These are some of the best fights in manga. So that is my tier list for comic books and manga. Primarily, I read manga now than comic books, but on the occasion, if I read a comic book, I'll do a review every once in a while. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. I think we went a little heavy on the S tier, but these are just some of the best, and you should absolutely read. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the Jack Hudson channel. Then subscribe to the Black Hudson channel, which is, again, sketches, podcasts, and stuff like that with my friend Mark Keith and Peter. I check out my other main channel, which is Sinister Sheep, where I go over anime, movies, and stuff like that. So check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.